Welcome to Cook Smart, Eat Smart with Cooperative Extension. I'm Carmen Long, Area Family Consumer Science Agent.
And I'm Sadell Crops, Nutrition Program Associate with the FNA program.
And today we are making egg and cheese wraps. Once again, breakfast is one of the most important meals of the day.
Unfortunately, a lot of people skip it. Sometimes they say they eat breakfast, but Carmen, all they have is a cup of coffee and a donut. Is that a good breakfast?
That is really not a very healthy breakfast, especially when we think about my plate. So that donut doesn't really fit anywhere on there.
Coffee either?
No, and we really would like to have at least 3 different food groups.
Yes, and when we do that, we want to remember to always start with a grain, a whole grain preferably. That's good. It energizes your brain, and we all need that. And then maybe a fruit or a veggie, and either a protein or a dairy. And I believe you're going to be covering that today in our recipe.
Exactly. And one of the things about these wraps is you can basically make them however you would like. So recipes are just suggestions. They're just kind of a guide. They're not like laws. And so if you have some leftovers in your refrigerator, this is a great way to incorporate those.
Yes.
When we're thinking about vegetables, sometimes those are the things that we forget about at breakfast, but you could really use leftover roasted vegetables, grilled vegetables. I think some zucchini would be really yummy in this. Think about what you might have on hand. Even some broccoli would be another color and would be something yummy. And we really do want to eat a rainbow of colors as well. So today we're going to start off with, since it's an egg and cheese wrap, an egg. So we've already broken our egg into our dish. And then we have some yummy veggies. We have some yellow, red, and orange peppers. We have some tomatoes. And we actually have already put a little oil or cooking spray in your pan, whichever you want to do to make it not stick. And we're going to stick some of those veggies in there. So we're going to put in some tomatoes. And if you wanted tomatoes to be raw, you wouldn't have to cook those, but you could.
I like mine cooked. And could I add some onions to that, Carmen?
You
I don't
sure
see you
could.
have, but onions are pretty much on everything I cook.
And what else could we put in here that might be yummy?
Well, I've seen a Mexican scrambled eggs, and they actually use jalapenos. Now, I like a little spicy, but I would definitely not use all of this unless you like it super spicy. But a little bit of that would add a little bit more color, and it'll be really delicious.
That would wake us up in the morning, mightn't it? Yes, warm us up on these colder days. So we could add some whatever type of ingredients, vegetable-wise, that you might have, and we're going to cook that just for a little bit. Actually just pour our egg on top of it and cook it together. One of the things that I thought might be interesting to talk about today is salt, because that's something that often when we have eggs, I think we need add a little salt in there. What do you think about sea salt, Sadell?
It's okay, except that sometimes it's a little pricey, and you don't have to use a whole lot because it's pretty salty.
That is where I was going with that. So if the recipe calls for like 1/4 of a teaspoon, with sea salt, you wouldn't need to use that much because there's no other added ingredients in that sea salt in comparison with regular table salt that does have some other ingredients added to it. So once again, little is better.
So is it better to put the salt now versus adding it after the eggs are all done? And
I think that's one of those personal preference things. If you've got someone at your house that shakes stuff on,
before even tasting them, they're already sprinkling.
So in that situation, I wouldn't put any in when I'm cooking because they're going to add it anyway.
Exactly.
So just wait and let them put a little bit on themselves.
And since you're using the ham, is that a little salty?
Yes, and that would be another thing. If you're going to add another ingredient, and the cheese can be salty
sometimes
as well.
I don't even put any
You
salt.
don't need any because of these other ingredients. If you didn't want to cut up tomatoes, what about salsa? Would that be something else that you
really
could use?
easy.
And that would be another really easy thing to do. So we've got these veggies cooked here. We're just going to add our egg on top of that.
I love eggs because they cook so quickly. And it's something simple. My kids, everyone in our house love them.
And you know what else, Sadell? You wouldn't need to just have this for breakfast. This would be another one of those recipes that would be good for any meal of the day.
Actually, in the summer when I have tomatoes growing, I make my own salsa. I just use a bunch of tomatoes because generally I get so many I don't know what to do with them. Onions, I put a little jalapeno in there. And even though they call it a Mexican salsa, since I'm Cuban, I add a little garlic to mine. So if you like garlic, it tastes delicious. And you could take that and have that for lunch.
That would be another yummy thing. So we actually have some egg already fixed over here that we've added our tortilla to. And we're going to add some other toppings on there. So what do you think would look good or yummy on there?
Well, I don't see that you have any greens, so that avocado would look delicious up there.
I think that avocado
And just as a little tip, when I was cutting that, I noticed it's easier when you cut the avocado just to cut it, with the skin on, and then just use a spoon to get it out.
And did you actually kind of score the avocado?
Yes.
So once you scooped it out with a spoon, it was already in these pieces.
It makes it easier, I find.
And I am an avocado fan. I actually really, really like
And they're
avocado.
really good for us, aren't they?
They are. They're a nice, healthy fat. So if you had some leftover ham, you could put the whole piece in. You could actually put it in little diced pieces if you
Look at
think
that.
that might be good. I actually think I'm going to add some more of that chopped up tomato because I think that would
to
be
add
pretty.
more color. You have the rainbow up there.
That is beautiful. and some
That
people
would really fill you up,
it
let me
would.
tell you.
Some people would eat that. Oh, I didn't put any cheese on yet. I knew I was missing something. We need that.
Okay, so let's see our plate again. So you have your grains, your whole grains in the tortilla. You have a whole bunch of different veggies.
We
You have
do.
your eggs, your protein, and your dairy. What can we do to add a little fruit, do you think?
I think maybe just a side of a piece of fresh fruit. So a cutie would be good with that.
Oh, yes.
I've been having some really yummy fresh pears, so I might incorporate that into that meal. Or if you were going to have some juice,
Just a little bit, though, right?
and that is the key. So not a tall tumbler of juice, but grandmas used to have little tiny juice glasses, and they were smart because a juice serving is not even a whole cup.
And what about for kids? Is it okay to dilute it a little bit, like add some water to it?
That is a great
'Cause
way,
some
even for
kids-
adults.
Yes, sometimes kids want to drink a whole big glass.
They do. So if you put some ice in it and then dilute it with a little bit of water, you're cutting back on that amount of juice that they're actually drinking, but they're still
Wow.
getting that juice flavor.
And then you would have the whole plate.
Oh, that looks so good. We hope that you will try this yummy egg wrap, making it the way that your family would like it, and we hope that you will come back and join us another time for Cook Smart, Eat Smart with
Let us know
Cooperative
if you like
Extension.
it.
Yes.